Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another episode of Papa's Tackle Box. We're very grateful that you're joining us on whatever platform that you get your podcast needs from. Thanks to everyone who's been following us and keeping up with everything that we're doing on Facebook, Instagram, or even our website, legacycc.org. Also, a huge shout out to those who have given to the podcast through our website under the Give Now tab. Now, I know you all are waiting to hear what Papa's going to pull out of his tackle box today, so without wasting any more time, you are listening to Papa's Tackle Box, and here's Papa.
Hey everybody. Hey, thanks for joining me today on Papa's Tackle Box. And every Tuesday I look into my tackle box and pull out something to see what we can talk about or see what I can pull out. And today I have pulled out a young man that has been with me and his family for over 20 years. His name is John. Hey John, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, Pastor?
I'm doing good. Well, I've asked John to sit in with me today because I have questions that people would like to know about, answers to. And like I said, John's been with me over 20 years. He started with me in children's ministry, and now he's kind of grown up a little bit, has a daughter that is graduating college and high school all at the same time this year, Caitlin, and then Rosalind's graduating the 10th grade. So I've watched them all grow up, and Kim, his wife, they're all a good team, and they've been with me for a long time. One of the questions, John, that everybody wants to know is, how has your family coped with the COVID-19 virus and the stay-at-home order?
Well, the stay-at-home order is pretty much my kids and my wife. Me and my wife, we both are essential businesses, so we get to keep working, which is a blessing, so to say. Myself, I'm out in the job site all the time. Like I said, Kim being at home. The girls, they're trying to adapt to being at home and all the new online stuff, virtual stuff, and dance classes now started online, and just an adapting period for everybody. And for me on the job side, it's kind of been the same. Work's been the same, busy and busy and busy.
Do you have to wear a mask at work?
We do not have to wear a mask as of right now. But we have made it where it's just one crew in a house at a time. Before it was a constant pile up of, you might have trim carpenters and tile people and painters and everything all at the same time. But right now it's, you have one crew in a house, next day the next crew. So the building has slowed down some, but it is at a point to, we are busy. We're working every day, which is a blessing.
So now, did you guys stock up, or does Kim go to the grocery store or wherever it is she goes to get stuff, or do you do it, or how do y'all do that?
Pretty much. Right now, she has learned to do the online order stuff and have it delivered, and she is kind of liking that. I know some of our family's been doing it as well, but I know the other day I come home and she had got a Walmart order, an Aldi order, and all that. She said, look, I didn't even have to leave the house. So it's been a neat thing, something different anyway.
Hey, I understand that feeling. Debbie hasn't left the house. She went out with me yesterday just to go to the bank, to the drive up to do the deposit, and I told her I was going to have to cut her off because she's doing everything in the middle of the night online also. Well, it has changed our lives considerably having this stay at home, because we're kind of used to just we're having to stay at home. Yeah. So now, you started with me many years ago in the children's ministry, and then you got out for a little bit, and now we put you as the director of Children's Church, Awanas, and the nursery, you and Kim. So in the last few months, or maybe just the beginning of this year coming into this, how has children's ministry changed, and or has it stayed the same from the beginning you started in this? Because now Caitlin is following in your footsteps, and she actually is doing children's church, and you and Kim are overseeing it for us. So has it changed, or do you see it changing, or what? Give me something on that.
It's changed some, but to a point, it's still kind of the same. What we're doing in children's church right now, especially during this time, the thing with that I've been noticing, especially since the stay-at-home order, has been more family stuff, family oriented with the kids, and trying to have interactive lessons more than what we normally do when we're doing videos, to try and keep kids connected that way. Doing the family connect stuff on Friday night, trying to involve families with kids as well during this. As far as, lessons and stuff, I have seen over those last few weeks working with Caitlin, the lessons and how we're doing it and going about doing it, still having an object lesson, a memory verse, and some type of goal for them to shoot toward has been real important in that. It's kind of the same, but a little bit different having to do the video stuff right now.
So how are you or what's the best way I could say this? How do you select the curriculum that you're using for children's church?
As far as the curriculum, a lot of online stuff, we go out and do a lot of research, especially now that technology is a little more advanced than it was when me and Kim were over the children's ministry back then. A lot more at our fingertips now, easier to get and print out and things like that. As far as the lesson wise, fun worship has been real important. The kids like to jump around and shout and sing. They like to be interactive in lessons. It's kind of the same, but a little bit different, being video wise and things now.
So, saying all that, do you think the church is going to change through this? And if it does, how will it change, or what do you think might change when we are able to come back in to a regular service?
That's a good question. I was actually in a conversation with somebody. We were sitting in our cars, talking across to each other, and one of the things that I have been noticing out, as far as me being able to still work and kind of talk with people and see what they're doing and how they're doing things, one of the things that was said to me, and it'll lead into what you ask about church, was they have noticed that it's causing everybody to slow down a little bit and refocus more on family and spending more time with family, turning phones off, doing things together, reading the word together, getting back to the unity of family. And I really feel, in talking with some people, that the church needs to be ready, because I think people have slowed down enough to where they have realized that they need to get back to the church, back to the basics. And I think church will kind of go on as it was. Will we do things different? Yes, because we're doing video stuff. We're realizing different ways of ministering into people's
Right.
homes.
Uh-huh.
But as far as I think people still want this fellowship of being with people. People are still wanting to talk. People are still wanting to be together. So I don't know if that answers your question good enough there.
So Sunday service, as we did before, is probably not going to be enough anymore since we're doing so much social media. Do you think that's going to continue and become probably the big point for the church?
I think it's another avenue for the church. Yes, your Sunday, and when we get back, get the connect groups going again, and when we're able to do that. But social media is a way of connecting to people of all ages.
Okay.
I know there's a lot of older folks that have been enjoying. I know my dad's been one. He's really enjoyed the process of being able to still hear a sermon and get the little things like we're doing tonight. And it's just another avenue for them to get a little extra word through the week that maybe they might not get, but to watch a video or to hear a podcast, you're getting a little extra word in there.
Yes, that's for sure. You are an ordained bishop in the Church of God, and you're bivocational. And so there are a lot of pastors in the Church of God and other denominations who have to work outside the ministry. And since we don't know if this is going to end in a couple of weeks or will it go another month, we don't have a clue. What could you say to, or let me rephrase that, pastors that are like you that work outside, and right now this is really a hard time that they're going through also, and feeling overwhelmed, what can they do to refocus and stay on their goals?
As far as work and everything, it is hard and it does consume time, and I will say that the stuff we're doing now, you almost feel like you're working more now doing this kind of stuff than you did when church doors were open because of the constant recording and being up here and all that. But one of the things that, like I'd said earlier, is staying grounded with your basics and keeping in your prayer time, your reading your word time. Let the Holy Spirit lead you to where what you is needed for your congregation, so to say. In the middle of all this chaos, so to say, sometimes we might lose a focus and being caught up in the work and trying to make sure we got masks on or we keep 6 feet apart or whatever it is. But the basic is God's still in control. He's still on the throne. He still has the provisions for it. We just got to make sure we are going in the direction He wants us to go for our region, our area that we are in. And as long as we are letting God lead us and guide us, I think the pastors will be okay. But it all comes down from God. He's our direction, so to say.
Well, we work for him, that's for sure. So he is the boss, and this has not taken him by surprise. So certainly he certainly knows where the church is headed in that way. Talking about that, for us, we're kind of limited because we're in one spot. We're not an evangelist. We don't travel around the world. We don't get to visit different churches so many times a month because we're at the same place constantly. Do you think that the future church or the future of the church, when we talk about worldwide, do you think that globally that what do you think like the church is going to look like when we come through this virus? Just not here at Legacy, but I know that's making you think outside the box, but you're really creative at that. So what do you think the church is going to look like? Not a denomination, not those kinds of things, but globally, what is the church that God has, or Jesus Christ is coming for his bride at some point of time? Boy, it'd be a good time for him to come. But
Amen.
while he is not here yet, we're still his bride. What do you think that's going to look like when all of this is over with?
Well, I think it's an avenue for the church to go down, having to step back into this social media and things. Yes, we're kind of stuck here in Auburndale, but we're actually getting out more than our demographic, so to say, with these podcasts and videos. So we are kind of almost starting to evangelize as a church, so to say.
We're reaching a bigger audience.
We're reaching
yes.
a bigger audience, but I think all in all, the church itself, if we just really step back and look at what is going on right now, church with God is still going to be church when we come, but the avenues that have been opened up right now for the church, to me, this is a prime time for the church to be able to expand their ministry globally, worldwide, because of the technology and what we're doing now in the videos and things like that, we have an avenue right now that is at our fingertips that we are just beginning to taste and see what we can do. And I think God is wanting to take the technology part that has been deemed so much for evil for the church to be able to grasp a hold of it and start using it for the good.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, let me ask you this: um, Do you think can we afford as a church to go back to business as usual? Can we afford to when this virus is over with?
I think when the virus is over, it'll be my opinion, it will be a slow process getting back to it. I think people will test the waters a little bit, and I think the church still needs to be smart and everything. Just to make sure that nothing does happen, nothing else breaks out again, or people's emotions right now are so high. You watch people in the store that you're within 6 feet of me, back up,
Yeah.
and at the church,
Not everybody, though.
not everybody. There's a lot of people that still want to be up on top, but I think the hugging and shaking a hand, some people might not be as receptive to that in today's time right now, as we are so used to hugging a neck or shaking a hand or doing those type of things in church. So will it be a little different for us? Yes, but I think getting back to worshiping and being in God's presence as a church and being unified in the church and just lifting his name up and being in that presence, I think, so to say, we can get back to the basics on that, get back to it. But all in all, will things be different? Yeah. But that's an adaptive for us as pastors. We have to step back and see how people's reactions are to everything.
Because everybody's saying at this time that the this abnormal stuff we're going through is becoming the new normal. So I was taught that if you do something for 21 days straight, it becomes a habit to you. So one of the things that we're teaching our people now is online church is so that's something that people are getting used to now, sitting at home watching the broadcast or however they look at it. And so for some, they're going to be comfortable with that, and again, they're going to probably want to stay home because of well, is it safe to go? But one of the things is, I do think that we're going to see some incredible things happen out of this. You touched on it earlier about the families. It has forced families to I think, grow closer together.
Absolutely.
Whereas the church family itself, it seems to not be able to congregate. So I think that when we're able to come back, I think people are going to be so excited about I think maybe they will be.
Hopefully.
I can't hardly wait till we get people back in the church. Will we do things different inside the church? Yeah, we'll probably space our seats out still, and we'll still do some things, and we'll still make sure we always clean. But Will was telling me the other day, we're going to have some of the cleanest kids growing up, and so that's true. We're doing things that, because I'm an old fellow, we just wash our hands Saturday night, we're good, and so now Debbie makes me wash my hands every time I do something, and she makes me use a glove. My kids is wanting me to wear a mask if I go anywhere, and I didn't want to, but my doctor says, hey, we want you to be safe. And as pastors, we certainly want to keep our church family safe. And so I do think that what we've started in an avenue, it does take a lot of work. I didn't realize how much time it takes for doing what we're trying to do to stay connected.
Yes.
But also staying connected, they've got to connect with us. So are the kids connecting good with you through what you're doing on Friday in the families?
The kids seem to be real active in it, as far as their memory verses and doing things online back to Caitlin. And I was told by a family that watched one of the videos that we did where I acted like an animal in one of them because I've been trying to do
Was it a
character.
donkey?
It was a donkey. The girl just kept laughing and watched the video over and over and over, and those are the things that are memory makers. That you go back and we'll look at this, and will it be something like a donkey that ministered to a kid that helped a kid through this? Well, if that's what it takes, then that's what we'll do. But the kids, all in all, I know the Easter baskets we sent out, the kids absolutely love that. The reaction from them receiving them and the things online seem to be going really, really well. We are still working and tweaking on things, trying to make things even better. The Family Connect thing seems to be starting to work. Some families have been posting pictures of things they've been doing.
Good.
So some of these might be, the Friday night Family Connect thing. It might be something we can do as a Connect thing to keep it continuing.
Good.
Just different avenues. And will it expand Children's Church being able to do a video through the week? I think so.
Good.
So
good.
that would help the kids in another form of connecting to the kids other than once or twice, whether
Good.
Awana's on Wednesday or kids on Sunday.
That's good. Well, hey, John, thanks for joining me today on Papa's Tackle Box. So I need to reel it on in. So I just want to say to everybody, listen, keep fishing.
Hey, thanks everyone for listening to Papa's Tackle Box. Make sure that you stay up to date with everything we're doing by following our Facebook page at Legacy Community Church. Go ahead and follow us on Instagram at Legacy Church FL, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Legacy Community Church. You can also keep up to date with everything we're doing at our website, legacycc.org. And if this podcast has blessed you in any way, you can also give through our website under the Give Now tab. Thanks for listening.